Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
Today we have Cherif Medawar with us, and Cherif grew up in Egypt, spent time in Europe, and ended up getting his MBA from UCLA. So Cherif, it's great to have you. I just love this story. If you could kind of go on from there and tell us how you got into the whole real estate world.
Well, I got in real estate. I was always interested because my uncles were in Seattle, Washington. They've done very well in real estate. And what happened is I was interested in hotel business. I studied hotel business in Switzerland. That was like another degree I could take. So I took finance, obviously. And then what happened is I moved to the US and I was working at the Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles, 5 stars, 5 diamond, beautiful property. A lot of movie stars, Muhammad Ali, you could see him in the lobby sitting, Roger Moore, etc., all these famous people. And I was working around the clock to learn the hotel business and move up. Well, a hotel guest, a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bessari, saw me and noticed me more than one time in his visits. And he told me one time in the lobby, listen, Cherif, why don't you come and work for me? You're working 12, 15 hours a day, very enthusiastic, very happy all day long. Why don't you come and work for me? I said, to do what? He said, I have properties around the world. I don't want to travel that much. I want somebody to speak on my behalf, do the work I'll tell them to do. Are you excited? And I said, sir, I'm scared, frankly. I don't know anything about real estate. I don't know residential, let alone international commercial real estate. And he held me by the shoulder. He said, Cherif, you're at the right place at the right time. Just say yes. I said, yes. I mean, I had faith in God, in myself, and in this guy that, you know what, maybe this is a door that opened. I better step in and see what happens. So that's what happened. And I went to work for him. I was literally just barely 20 some years old. And I worked for him for 8 years. I put incredible deals together for him. He would tell me, fly to Martinique in the Caribbean and tell them this, buy this land, do increment tax financing. And I'm like, I don't even know the terminology, let alone to go structure a deal and negotiate it. So I would call the accountants in Chicago and ask them, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And they would explain to me because I was his right-hand man and he was a billionaire. Edmond Bessari, I mean, it was an amazing ride for 8 years until I reached the point where I could suggest structures for him. It's like, what if we not buy it right away, that do an option and then close later when we get the actual approval? And he'd be like, I like that, do it. When I reached the level where I could suggest things for him, I realized, wait a minute, maybe I could do some stuff on my own. And that's when I went to him. I remember we had a resort in Wisconsin called Olympia Resort and Spa. And I was having dinner with him. He was usually in Europe. He would fly back and forth. And I told him, you know, Mr. Bessari, I think I'm ready to do the deals on my own. I'm ready to branch out. And he stopped eating, leaned back, and he said, Cherif, it took you 8 years. I said, what do you mean? He said, you see, you labeled yourself as a hotel manager. You could have been stuck there for years. Then you labeled yourself as my right-hand man. You could have been stuck with me for years. You're a free man. Go do it. Don't label yourself. But remember, what you learned from me, go teach 10 other people. So it was always on my mind. Yeah, he was an amazing guy, really. But he wasn't easy to deal with. He wasn't like all warm and fuzzy, okay? He was, I mean, the man was, if you can't get the right answer, if you don't know the number, he would just lose it. But he was a very honest guy. And Harvard school called him the man with 2 brains.
Wow.
Yeah, and he lived in a castle in France. He bought it from the government of France, the Chateau de Madame de Pompadour. You can look it up on Forbes magazine. They wrote about him 10 years ago that his chateau was worth over 100 million and he was a philanthropist, etc. But the thing is, I mean, to be in the presence of someone like this, you just learn to think bigger and you learn to strategize, not react, not respond, but strategize. What's the best thing to do now for the short term and long term, for me and for him? And how can we have a win-win? Oh, this person doesn't want to win-win. He wants to do a win-kill. I will either disconnect from the person or I will win and kill him, figuratively speaking, financially speaking. So it was pretty fascinating.
Yeah. So great education. Then you went out on your own. How did that all go?
It went very well because he was kind enough to give a recommendation with Hilton Hotels, the corporate Hilton out of Beverly Hills. He told them, I'm going to give you a gift because we dealt with hotels. We had the resorts and stuff. And he said, I'm going to give you a gift. This guy's been my right-hand man for 8 years. Cherif understands the hotel business and the real estate itself. So when
Wow.
you have hotels that you're trying to get management contracts, when you're trying to negotiate extended contracts, he will be your guy. He can manage the hotels. He can talk to the owners at their level. He can manage staff. He's relatable. And that's my gift to you. So they took me and I started with the Del Mar Hilton in Del Mar, California with them, which is North County, San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I just started doing real estate on the side because I knew the real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years later, as I acquired more money and Hilton grew and I acquired the Embassy Suites division, like all these different brands, I acquired DoubleTree, I acquired Hampton Inns and all this under Promise Hotels. They grew so big and I was growing with them and I was doing my real estate on the side. It reached the point where I said, okay, I don't need to be in the hotel. I can buy the hotels. One time a hotel.
I don't want, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need this in.
Exactly. I was at one of the hotels and the owner came in to talk to me as the manager. I was a regional guy also on the West Coast. And he said, listen, I'm not happy with this and this. So I leaned forward. I said, Steve, do you want to sell the hotel? And he said, why? Did the buyer come in? And I said, no, I'm interested in buying it myself. So he left. He left the office, called the corporate office. He said, I don't need the general manager who can buy the hotel from me. I need just a normal guy. I knew that was the beginning of the end. But anyway, so I left and continued the hotel business and started teaching very actively. My first educational event was January 6, 1998.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that started growing. And I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to teach people because I know how hard it is when somebody comes in and they're trying to make money next to their job or trying to figure out a way. And I figured, you know what? Instead of tithing, giving money to the church, or I'm going to give my time and my knowledge. What I didn't expect is that people reciprocate and say, I have this deal. Do you want to get in here? How about if I give you the money and invest with you? So in a few years, my educational company grew into a level where I set up a real estate fund. That's when 2008, when the economy collapsed. The students, I was in San Mateo Marriott actually teaching because I have a home in Santa Clara also, but I'm resident of Puerto Rico for tax reasons. I reduced my. So I was doing an event and I said, look, I know the economy is bad, but look, I bought this property for this. I did that. I sold it. This one is a commercial building. I found it vacant. I put a tenant. The value went up. I sold it. And they're sitting. And I said, any questions? This guy raised his hand. He said, Cherif, I've been watching you for years. I love your trainings. You're so animated. You're enthusiastic. You do the best jokes. I stay alert with you. I said, okay, what's your question? He said, can I just give you my money and you do it because I don't have the time. And if I make a mistake, I'll end up with a divorce. I was like, oh my gosh. So I look at the audience and jokingly, I said, okay, how many people don't want the training? They just prefer to give me the money. And they raise their hands. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Gosh. I'm thinking I'm so smart teaching them. They're just trying to find a way to make the money. They don't care if I do it for them or they do it. That was the beginning of me setting up. By 2009, July 2009, I had set up the first fund, MIXIF, Medawar International Group Secured Income Fund. I set up the fund and my students, my database of people came in. And then my education company kept growing. I set up in Puerto Rico. I started investing in the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico where the cruise ships arrive in Old San Juan. And I've been for many years, actually for 16 years, I've been the largest owner of historic properties in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, in the history of Old San Juan, Puerto Rico from the 1500s.
Wow.
So I had 41 commercial mixed-use buildings. I mean, literally where the cruise ships arrive. You get off the cruise ship, you walk in front of my properties on Tanca Street, Fortaleza Street, Cristo Street. I kept buying buildings, rehabbing them, bringing the biggest tenants in the world upstairs. I was doing short-term rentals before Airbnb was a thing because I knew about short-term rentals from 1984. We introduced it in the Olympia Resort and Spa for Edmond Bessari, the billionaire. And Marriott came to take a look how we're doing it, just to give you an idea. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it was and it's been a great ride. I sold 15 of the buildings. I have now 26 buildings there. If any of your audiences want to see my portfolio, it's at CREPR.com. Commercial Real Estate Puerto Rico, CREPR.com. You will see the mixed use. You will see I have videos in front of each building. because the banks get confused. So I show them, here's the building, just go to the website. That's the building I'm talking about. They can see the videos, they can see the tenants. And these are historic buildings. They come in with a lot of benefits, and it just maintains the integrity of the history of Puerto Rico. And, when you care about a community, it reciprocates and you keep growing and it feeds itself. So I do these in Puerto Rico, Florida, California, and anywhere else where it's profitable and it makes sense.
Well, so now you've kind of switched though to buying properties that are vacant and then putting tenants in them.
Yeah, so one of my most successful programs, like anybody that will look me up, let's say on YouTube or something, they're going to see that I made the most money by actually, listen to this. I find on a busy two-way street, that's my favorite, a single tenant building, standalone building, like something that will house a Starbucks or a McDonald's or a Ben and Jerry's. And I put the vacant building, I want it vacant, because if it's valued at 800, vacant it may sell at 650, 600. Because there's no, I put it under contract. And then I start smiling and dialing, and I call national tenants and I ask them if they're interested in leasing the space. Now, these national tenants, they don't lease a couple of years like a residential unit or a year. They want to lease 10 to 15 years because they invest in the place. And usually, to entice them, when they come and visit the place and they say, okay, we're interested, I tell them, I need so much rent. Now, they say, well, I got to fix this and this. I said, listen, I will front you 50,000, 100,000. I've done even, I fronted Tommy Hilfiger one time, 192,000.
Wow.
Because when I front them the money, they're willing to pay me more. Instead of, let's say, 15,000 a month, they pay 17,000.
Right.
And so the value of the building is based on a multiplier of the rent. So the value of the building jumps up. I put an extra 200 up front, but the value of the building jumps by 600,000.
Right, right.
So in a building that I get under contract at 600,000, let's just say it's a small building, 600,000 somewhere in Atlanta. Put it 600,000. I call tenants. Sonic want to come in and lease it. They're willing to pay 60,000 a year, something like this, 70,000 a year. The value of the building goes to $1 million, $1 million, $2 million.
Right.
So the building jumps in value 400, 500,000 in a matter of 60 to 90 days that I have the whole deal under contract with the due diligence and then the closing and then writing the lease and giving them a couple months free rent and kicking in even an extra 100K. I still have such a cushion of profit. So then I decide, do I want to sell the building or do I want to refinance, cash out my money and keep it for the cash flow?
Right.
In Puerto Rico, I kept them all for the cash flow because it's an area that's amazing. The cruise ship business is on fire. I mean, you can look at my portfolio. The entire 26 buildings, they're multi-use, okay? They're mixed use. They're downstairs retail and upstairs. It's all sold out. Sold out. I don't know of any other place you can run like this. Not even Beverly Hills. And I turn around, like in the US, I just turn around and sell them because I pay less taxes because Puerto Rico has tax incentives because it's part of the US and they want to give less aid money to Puerto Rico. So they create this tax incentive for the wealthy. People can actually be there. And I did not get all the tax incentives because I had been there for so long. There are new tax incentives for newcomers. Like if you, Bruce, you move to Puerto Rico now and you do business there, you can pay instead of, I know you're in California, I have a home in Santa Clara. I'm like maybe probably 20 minutes away from your home. But and right now I'm in Los Angeles for this, but usually it's, you're going to pay, let's say if you buy and sell a property, you'll pay, like 50% tax, federal and state. Yeah. You know how California is. But in Puerto Rico, if you're based in Puerto Rico and you flip something and then your base is in Puerto Rico, you'll pay a lot less taxes. You can drop your taxes 16%, maybe even less.
Wow.
So the extra profit there, you reinvest it and it helps you compound faster.
Yeah.
So the money's in the structure, not in the property. If you structure right, you can protect yourself. You can maximize the upside, minimize the downside. You can do it all right. And that's what I've been teaching for years is I tell people the vacant building that you're driving by in your neighborhood, wherever you are in the United States, or actually in the world, because I have people that took the training and went to Malaysia. Wow. And she did it in Chinatown in Malaysia. She inherited the building, this lady. And she put 7-Eleven there. And upstairs was a hotel agreement with one of the divisions of Hilton called DoubleTree.
Wow.
She told me she wanted to sell. She came to me, said, "Do you know somebody and any of your students in Malaysia? This is Chinatown in Malaysia because we're Chinese and we bought many years ago. My dad passed away. I own it. I don't know what to do." I said, "Here's the training coming up. It's a building that's multi-use. You can put downstairs a big tenant and you can do this. And these are the things." And I said, "Sometimes you don't even have to do any work. The tenants will do it. You just have to give them a break on the rent for the first year or 3 months, a few 3 months thing. And they're going to have a long-term lease and steady income. And that income comes with a corporate guarantee, triple net. That means the
Wow.
tenant pays you net of tax, insurance, and maintenance."
Right.
So there are many ways to invest. And some people will not see the opportunity if it hits them in the face. There is always a guy sitting in the back of the room saying, "That's impossible. Nobody can do what he's talking about." I don't think, yeah, maybe he's a fluke, or maybe he's just lucky. Like, there is a process and a system to finding the deals, working the deal, and assessing the risk. When I have the deal under contract vacant, I have 45 days to 60 days to do the due diligence. I don't do the due diligence. I call on the national tenants. They
Right.
come in and tell me what they need. Now, if no tenant answers me, okay, 45 days, no tenant answers me. On the 44th day, I'm going to call the broker and say, "I'm sorry, it does not fit my need. I can't work it. That
Mm.
that
Right.
location is not happening." And I
Right.
cancel. I get back my earnest money deposit.
Right.
So it's simple, but you have to know the process and you have to work it and do follow up with the tenants. And then once you have one tenant interested, you got to negotiate the terms and then you do the visit and finalize. So, like anything else, you start it is hard, but then once you do it, it becomes easier and becomes systematic. Like people
Yeah.
say, "Well, Sharif, you always say one deal will change your life. You have so many deals. You have buildings giving you 300,000 a year in income. Why do you keep doing it?" Well, I'm there, I'm doing it, and I have students, and I work with the students. I say, if you find the deal, and you've been trained by me, I'll give you the proof of funds. I will give you the tenant list. I will tell you what to say to the broker, how to gain credibility because you're working with me. And here's the proof of funds. We can close all cash. I will give you the verbiage, what to tell the tenants specifically, what to tell the brokers. And all you need is a tenant saying, "We're interested." I go with them on a Zoom call, negotiate the lease terms.
Mm.
And if the deal is under contract 600 and we're putting the tenant in and the value is going to become 1 million, that's 400 upside, I give
Right.
them 10% to 25% of the upside. It depends how long I was able to convince them for the lease.
Right. Right.
If it's 10 years, I give them 10%. So the person literally found a deal, used my proof of fund, made some phone calls, make 40,000 assignment fee.
Nice.
If we sign them for 15 years, I give them on that 400,000, 25%. They get a whole 100,000 assignment fee. Now, people say this is too good to be true. Look, I have over 1,000 video success stories on YouTube. I have 3,500 videos because I posted from years ago of my trainings. I do a lot for free and people learn from me. I have some, of course, programs where people pay to join what I'm doing so
Right.
they can stay
Right.
in touch with me. I even set up people with real estate funds because they say, "I want to do what you're doing. I want to set up my own fund. I want to be able to raise capital and do it properly in the United States." We give it to them turnkey. We do it less
Nice.
than, and because the attorneys are in-house. So I do it all turnkey with the training. Sorry, I talk
That's
so much. I get excited.
That's good. Well, so with the audience so excited right now, where can they get a hold of you, Sharif?
Okay, so the best thing is to reach my vice president. She's been with me 23 years, Ashley, ASHLEE at CMREI.com. CMREI is Cherif Medawar Real Estate Investing. They can go to CMREI.com and see the programs we have, how we set up people with real estate funds. It's a very unique structure because attorneys don't set it up that way, even though it's approved from the SEC. It's a hybrid structure where you pay debt fund and the upside is yours. It's really very creative. I set it up in 2009, very powerful. And we've been using it, set up many people like this. And, or they can just email her and say, "Okay, tell me about Sharif's programs. Here's my phone number. Tell me more." And she's just so good at this and she knows the programs very well. And she has invested her properties free and clear. She's invested on the side. I mean, talk about somebody who's been with me, saw it, did it, did it, knows exactly how it works. So that's the beauty
She-
of what we do.
She's part of the program. She knows how it works.
Yes, sir.
A great advocate for you.
Mhm.
Well, this has been fantastic, Cherif. I'm ready to join the program, so I'm going to check out the website.
Sure,
So,
Bruce. Thank you.
all right. Well, great to have you, and
Thank
I
you.
look forward to talking to you again in the near future.
Thank you. All the best to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.